from us, everyone. And what a year it has been, do you think?
It's been a very interesting year indeed.
We've had so many ups and a few, I won't say downs, but a few...
We were made to do things a lot earlier and a lot quicker than we expected.
So before we start 2024, we thought we'd take you down memory lane to all the good and bad things that happened in 2023.
All our trials and tribulations, you mean?
First off, well, we're going to group probably January through March, as a few things happened along the way.
A lot happened in those 3 months.
January, first off, we decided to rebuild our van, so rip out all the back and completely change the interior. So it was a fixed bed. We completely changed it to a lift bed and a nice bench seat, heaps of storage, and yeah.
How we would want it to be when we were going to live in it. We're planning to live in it in January 2024, but we'll get to that point soon.
We actually had, when we decided to do the rebuild, Tim says to me, I reckon I could have this van done in 6 weeks.
We actually said,
I hear you laughing.
We actually thought we would get it done by April the 1st.
Yes.
That was 4 months.
That actually literally, I said, I laughed at the 6 weeks and I said, look, 1st of April, I want in it, you know? Did that happen?
No.
No.
The rest of the world turned against us. Mainly work. I had to go and do a lot of working away, which meant I was away for 10-day stints at a time. So there was just no van building going on.
There's not. So I actually went on a couple of day trips on my own, which took us to Mudlow and North Stratty. That was a fun little day. I tell you what, doing a vlog on your own is difficult. Hats off to all the people out there that solo vlog. My goodness.
Do it every week.
Yeah,
I suppose you'd get used to it.
I guess it's just, you just get part of a routine. I'm just not used to running around with a camera like that all the time.
Also, to keep it fresh in that time while we're doing the van builds, and we didn't want to bore you with van build after van build episode, we tried out alternate styles of tiny living. Yeah,
the first thing we tried was a pod, which we've revisited a couple of times, but just to recap, we don't like towing anything. It was a little bit too small for us. Yeah, it felt like a little...
It wasn't practical for us.
It felt like when you go into those pod hotels, it felt like just a bed, and that was it.
Yeah, it was. It didn't suit our needs, but it showed you what you could expect as well, because you know, van life is a personal choice, and it's also what you need is also a personal thing as well.
But that's why we hired it, just to see, maybe this is an option, you know, instead of actually choosing a camper van and, you know, having to pack up and drive off in your van after it's set up, which isn't bad anyway. But we thought, okay, we'll give it a go, but before we bag it, we'll give it a go to see if it is actually better. No, not in our opinion, but
yeah.
Each their own.
And then we moved on to a bus, which we thought would be great, because, you know, that was like a dream. That was one of the dream stages that we were thinking of doing in the future, is getting a bus, because we need all that bigger room. But it actually turned out to be a little bit of a disappointment.
I like the idea of the bus. It's nice and big. I think half the problem with that van is it didn't have a shower and bathroom, which I would put in if I was building a bus, and I'd also probably pick a newer bus. But
it didn't feel like you could go on adventures in it. It felt like you just had to park somewhere and live in it.
It felt, even though it was only half a metre bigger than what we have, and if you're new here, we have a Mercedes Sprinter, it just felt a lot bigger. Like you couldn't take it in normal car parks or anything, which we can kind of get away with in a corner of a car park, stuff like that. Let's not forget that between, well, I think it was longer than that, but I'll say between January and March too, we were also planning a wedding in the background, which you didn't see. We were trying to keep that a secret.
Which is actually harder than you think.
I think we pulled it off. What do you reckon? Did you?
Yeah, I think we did. But it was actually a lot harder than you may think to actually do this.
So April brings us on to New Zealand, and what a trip New Zealand was. Not only did it, we got married there, but just the New Zealand landscape is absolutely stunning. If you haven't been there, I'd recommend going there ASAP if you're around this sort of part of the world. Australia's beautiful, but make it to New Zealand as well.
Especially the South Island. The South Island is stunning, and it was so good to try van life out in a different country.
First of all, we didn't get the van straight away. We're only in April. We're only in April, and it was all wedding at this point. We got there early, and yeah, we're in Queenstown, and we're spending a bit of time. That's why you see us spending a lot of time in Queenstown around that time.
We booked a 5-day tour, which was just completely insane. It was just go here, jump on the jet boat, go and do this.
Oh, Milford Sound was nice.
Milford Sound was beautiful, but it was a very long coach ride.
Te Anau Lake was absolutely beautiful as well. While we're talking about our wedding too, I had an accident. It's every bride's nightmare. I tripped on my shoelaces and fell straight forward, and I couldn't actually stop my fall because I was holding on to some luggage. And I had a big gash on my head, and yeah, I was very upset about that. 2
days before the wedding.
Yeah, I was like any other time, I would have got up and brushed myself off.
No problem, but it was emotional time. It was
I was like, oh no, I don't want to have my wedding photos with my gash on my head. But
you didn't want a black eye either.
I was worried about a black eye as well. But thankfully, I had a good makeup artist who covered it, and it kind of healed a little bit before the wedding.
Yeah.
But we got married.
She did an exceptional job.
Thanks.
Covering it up. The makeup was fantastic as well.
As well?
As the hair and everything, the whole package. It was beautiful.
Anyway, moving on. So our wedding was held at Loch Nagar, and we also had some photos taken at Coromandel Peak, and we took a helicopter up there. And if you get a chance, you don't have to get just married up there. You can actually take a whole helicopter ride over these locations as well, and highly recommend it. It's a little bit pricey, but you can't beat the views that we saw up there.
Yeah, and we were blessed with a little bit of snow on the peaks as well.
Yes,
so it was great.
It snowed the night before, and so it was just settled on there. It was so nice.
It was actually
6 degrees.
It turned out to be the perfect day. We couldn't have actually asked for any more. It was so good, and it just went like clockwork.
It did. Which brings us on to May. May, we were married, and the first vehicle we chose to spend our honeymoon in was Wurzel.
The smelly little RV.
No, I think I liked it.
You had so much fun in that.
I warmed up to Wurzel in the end. Yeah, the whole point of Wurzel was to try out an RV style truck vehicle, just to see what that was like.
It was a different alternative.
Yeah, exactly.
Lifestyle.
Yeah. And look, space-wise, great.
Awesome. Power-wise, not
terrible.
So great. And we started on our little tour of the South Island. So we went in a clockwise direction up the west coast and then back down the east coast.
Yeah.
We got up to the top and we hit by bad weather, but we did manage to get quite a few places that we wanted to do, and absolutely beautiful and stunning locations. Even in the bad weather, the places that we went to were just fantastic.
And Mount Cook was one of my favourite vlogs that we made. It was such a spontaneous trip. I know Tim was saying, oh, I want to see some snow, and I was like, well, there's snow over there, let's drive up there. And we ended up staying there. Was it one night or 2 nights?
I think we just camped there one night at the base of Mount Cook, which is brilliant. It was a nice little camp there.
Yeah, it was cheap.
You paid us, I think it was $6. It wasn't really a great amount, but yes,
we did hit some bad weather on our walk, but to me it made it more fun.
Yeah, that was an understatement, but it was magnificent to get all the way up to the glacier and actually see it there.
Yeah, it was just amazing. I actually wasn't expecting to see that because we did no research on this, because as we said, it was just a spontaneous trip, and we didn't know what walk to do. Oh, that looks great, let's do that. And it wasn't until later on we found out that it was one of the most famous walks in New Zealand. We like to holiday on the fly, guys.
Yep. Yes, we do.
The best way to do it, and you get surprises like that. But yeah, what was your favourite vlog?
I did like going around Christchurch.
Was it New Zealand? Yeah, Christchurch
was a lovely city
to go around.
Fun. Although you could still see the devastation of the earthquakes there. But it was nice to see it being rebuilt.
That was a fun vlog to make. We had a good day that day.
It was a good day.
Sadly though, in May, we had to come home. It was a recommencement of the van build, as we did not get it finished in May as planned.
But we did plan it so that we were just going to do the highlights of the van build, and it wasn't just like, today I'm going to do this screw here and paint this panel here. It was just like, we've done this. This is you know, this is what we've done. So it was more of a recap each week and just try to keep it more interesting for you and, you know, get a lot more done.
Until we got told halfway through June that we had to move out of our house.
And we said, great, 3 months time, that'd be no problem.
Yeah, we can do it in 3 months.
We can do that, or we can plan it, anything. Anyway, 3 days later, you've got 60 days.
60 days, which ramped up our build even further, and we had to not only rebuild the van, but we had to downsize all of our stuff. We were coming from a 3-bedroom house, and we had to move into, what is this, 50 square feet or smaller, 20 square feet?
No, it's about 50 square feet.
Is it?
I think it is.
Anyway, we had
a long
to...
wheelbase Sprinter. Anyway, you had to downsize our life of 3-bedroom house into this small little house, juggle work, juggle YouTube, and actually finish the build, because you couldn't actually put anything into this van because we had no cabinets in at the time. We just went full on with the whole thing.
In the background, we did so many tip runs and so many donation runs that you didn't see. We tried to film some in our homeless video, but you know, there's only so much you want to see.
Yeah, and that actually that made us go on the road a lot earlier than we planned. It was 3 months earlier than we expected, which was like, ooh, this is a kick in the teeth, really. But we did it. We managed to get there. We left on the day and without any trouble, and we just went off into the sunset, and we had the most fabulous time.
that was July, August, sort of together there.
August the 27th. Her birthday, we hit the road, and it's been brilliant ever since. No, it went a bit mad after that.
So this brings us on to September. So the first 2 weeks of September, what would you say, nightmare?
But they were challenging.
Challenging. So we had 4 things go wrong. Was it 4 or 3? No,
well,
3.
3 of the main things went wrong.
Yeah,
First of all, we had a turbo pipe burst on us. So that meant we had no power.
And then we had no power inside the van because the house batteries broke.
Yeah, the AGM batteries had lived their last, and we had to upgrade to the lithium batteries, which is quite an experience to try and do, and it was massive weight saving as well.
Yeah, they were heavy. 120 kilos, those two.
Yep, they were 120 kilos, and we replaced it with a 36 kilo battery, which was a massive weight saving. And then to top it all, the bed got stuck.
Yeah, we thought to ourselves, that's all right, we've got somewhere to sleep. And then the bed broke.
Yeah. It was stuck in the down position. We couldn't get the thing back up, so we had to go back to the original suppliers, and she helped us out.
Yeah, she helped us out, and now the bed's fine.
Yeah, it turned out we'd crushed a cable somewhere at some point during the build, and that was throwing a code on one of the pistons, and that's why the bed decided to give up.
I mean, each one of those things on its own isn't massive. Like, you can sort of deal with it, but when 3 of them go at once, like the engine, the house batteries, and the place you sleep.
It's the space for a week.
Yeah, it was a lot. But we did have a house sit. So in mid-September we headed off to a house sit, which helped us.
That was a reprieve. That was 6-week house sit. It had a massive workshop which we were told we could use, which was brilliant. So we could do all of the final things that we needed to do in the van. And we actually thought we'd finished the van as well. Yeah. In that time.
Yeah, we thought we'd finished it. We actually got it weighed and to make sure it was all perfect.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah, legit.
Make sure it was legit and safe, and we had the thing serviced. That was a quite expensive service.
Oh, the expensive service.
Well, it wasn't just a service. There was quite a few things. There was wheel bearings that needed salting in it, just to make sure we had to get it done.
Yeah.
Also, there was an issue with the turbo pipe. Why it burst? And it was the fact that the engine was surging. And it was a small electrical connection that was causing all the problems in the end. Anyway, long story short, the van went away for a good 10 days and was repaired by the Mercedes mechanics. That's why it was expensive.
Yeah. You're going to get a Mercedes, you're going to pay for it. But I tell you what, when we got the van back, it
drove like an absolute dream.
Great, didn't it?
Yeah.
October, we left the house sit in September. October was a bit of a quiet month for us. We were a few vlogs ahead, which wasn't saying we missed anything, but we were a bit quiet. We
were starting to burn out a little bit because of so much happening and having to finish everything 3 months earlier.
Sorry, September also, we started our uncut videos.
Yes. Which really added to the burnout.
And that's when he said burnout. I'm like, why don't we... Oh, yeah, we're doing 2 videos a week at this point now as well.
We apologise for not doing too many of the uncuts over Christmas, but it was a very, very busy season and not a lot happened.
Yeah, we can only do uncut when we are willing and able. It's just become a bit tight at the moment because everything that's going on.
It will resume.
It will resume.
So that brings us to November.
November!
What do we do in November?
November we actually went out and did stuff. And it was your birthday.
It was my birthday. We went and visited. We had friends come over from another country to visit us, and we hadn't seen them for a long time. So we thought, okay, let's take some time off. Let some of the videos catch up, because we were finding that there was quite a big disparity between the uncut videos and what was coming up, and we were finding it very hard not to say things that had already happened.
Yeah.
So thought we would do is we'll start letting the videos catch up a little bit. So we had a couple of weeks off, and because of the burnout. So like that was a good time, and it was my birthday, and then we went to Vertigo restaurant, which was expensive, but it was a really phenomenal experience.
So Vertigo is a restaurant that is suspended from a powerhouse, an old powerhouse that's now a museum in Brisbane. And it's suspended, I think it's almost 20 metres
above the ground.
And it was so beautiful. We actually went at sunset, so we went there during the day, we saw the sunset while we were eating dinner, and then they let us sit there and enjoy the night lights as they came up across the city. So yeah, well worth doing.
Whilst your legs are dangling there, nothing beneath it. And then at the end of the meal, we jumped off the building.
Yes. It was great. Get out of your comfort zone, guys. Yeah. We did a few other things in November too. We went up north, so we went to...
We took the van out a couple of times,
Yeah, to a swing site and got a few photos at this nice swing site. We went and had a relaxing weekend at Lakeview. The reason why we're doing all this relaxing stuff is because we just needed a break, and there were more calmer vlogs, and we just went out to relax. But yeah.
Yeah, and you may think that we're doing just living. We're not really doing van life properly at the moment because we're doing house sits, but different house sits require different things. One of the house sits, we actually stayed in the van the whole time out in front.
Yeah.
So we've got, leading into 2024, we have one more house sit to do after this one. This one's finishing in a couple of weeks. And then we have some exciting things to do.
Oh yeah, but we have skipped December. December, we have been talking about this uncut, so it's not revealing anything, but we are changing something in the van. I'm not going to tell you what exactly, but we didn't like something, and
we spent 110 days living in the van, and we decided that it wasn't working so well for us as a usable space. Yeah. So there's going to be some changes.
As you can see, it looks a bit different behind us, so...
Only a little bit.
Only a little bit. Yeah, but those videos aren't... We did those in December, but they're not coming out for another couple... Well, you'll see this next week, actually. The first reveal is next week. And don't worry, it's another whole... It's not a build series. It's only a couple of videos that show you what we changed in the van. But 2024, what are we up to? We have an absolutely exciting year.
It's going to be an even bigger year for us this year. It's
going to be huge. We have some international travel coming up. I'm only willing to reveal one of the countries that we're going to. We are going to Japan.
We're going to be trying out van life there.
Yeah, we're going to get a little...
Well, so give you an insight of what is different and a comparison between Australia.
Yeah, I think Japan is going to be hugely different. We're going to Tokyo first, so we're going to do some quirky things in Tokyo. And then we're hiring a camper van and going, I think, a couple of weeks, isn't it? 2 or 3 weeks.
We're going to travel the Japanese Alps, we're going to go to Mount Fuji.
We're going to Osaka, go around Mount Fuji. And
we're going to try and do as much as possible.
Yeah, we're going to try and fit in. And, of course, we're not planning a lot. We've planned a lot in Tokyo, but a lot of it's on the fly. We'll do a bit of research, but yes. That's just how we travel. Everyone travels differently, but that's how we travel. So it should make things interesting if we stumble across something on our travels. And we have a couple of other things happening. We're not going to tell you those yet.
Yeah, we're not going to let you you can have a guess if you want.
It's so exciting.
Leave your guesses in the comments.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
We'll end this vlog for today. Thank you so much for watching.
And we wish you all a happy new year. And I hope you all, you know, get to do the things that you intend to do, where, you know, the wishes that you made today and the plans that you've made today come to fruition.
Make sure that if you have New Year's resolutions, you actually write them down and make a plan, or else, you know, sometimes they get lost by the end of January.
And revisit them.
Yeah.
And question yourself, why didn't that happen, and how can you make it happen? Step out your comfort zone, guys.
We will see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.